Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg.
Hello, Glastonbury.
Hello.
I've always wanted to say that.
So, I mean, literally, how does it feel for someone to say it's been 20 years since Shaun of the Dead? Is it an existential crisis, or is it rather pleasing that it's
I'm
still
always
around?
having an existential crisis, me. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's been a very swift 20 years in a lot of ways, and kind of mind-blowing that it's still being talked about and that we're here now. I mean, that's the best you can hope for as an artist, is that people keep your stuff alive, I guess, right?
I'm just really proud that we were able to keep ITV2's lights on.
So, what were your kind of expectations of the film at the time? Did you have any? Did you dare, or was it just like, we've got to get this made? It has to exist.
First and foremost, we just wanted to make a good film, and also I feel that one of the inspirations for making the film was that we felt that there was something missing in British cinema, like comedies like this, and in a way, I guess there were films that were happening in the States at the time that we were inspired by. Not that the finished film necessarily looks like that, but it was something where we really felt that there was something that was missing in British cinema, and because we'd done the TV show Spaced, which is...
Pause for applause. Pause for applause.
Which, if Shaun of the Dead being 20 makes you feel old, Space being 25 really makes you feel old. But we were really proud of what we were able to achieve in that show and felt that style could come into a film. But in terms of expectations, number one, it was like, let's make a film and it be released in British cinemas and hopefully go down well. The idea of it, everything else that happened afterwards, about it getting released in the rest of the world and getting released at the cinema in the States, which was not like a done deal. In fact, until it came out in the UK and started getting reviews on the internet from some of the film sites, it was going to go straight to video in the States because they said, oh, nobody knows who any of the actors are, Sorry.
It was a very long time ago, Simon. Very long time.
Not like that now.
But so everything that happened afterwards, we had. It was all like amazing. It was all like an amazing bonus that this was happening, and we were getting to travel the world and meet all of our favorite filmmakers. It was incredible.
Just a quick aside: do you still get asked about Space Season 3?
Yep.
Yes.
Any new answers?
We're going into production at the end of the month.
Just a couple of other things to take care of first. It's going to be fine.
Nobody's asked us about Space Season 4.
So what's been most surprising about the way that Shaun has kind of lived on, apart from the fact that it did go kind of worldwide, it did go global? Has the people's reaction surprised you?
It's funny that any time there's any kind of crisis, of which there have been a few recently, not least sort of COVID and stuff, the meme of me going cheers with the pint sort of like comes back to haunt me. So it's nice to be a signifier for things going bad.
I think a real point of pride, and this goes for Hot Fuzz and The World's End as well, was we...
Pause for applause.
Hot Fuzz filmed in Somerset, no less. Only 10 miles away from here.
I've just, before you finish that, I found that I was being... No, I'm going to sound like an asshole.
Do it.
We're staying off site, so we were driving into the site yesterday, and the driver I sat next to turned to me and said, "Oh, I was in Hot Fuzz," and he was one of the kids in the pub that I threw out with the ginger kid. Everyone's got a connection.
I just had to stress that I am staying on site, which makes me cooler than Simon. I'll say another funny thing. It's not just about like the UK and US. First and last time on Shaun of the Dead, they asked me to go to Berlin and supervise the German dub of the movie. Now, I don't speak German, so why they asked me to do it, I'm not sure. And I've never done it again and then when you realize you're translating a film into a foreign language, that puns don't work, there's lots of things that don't work. But the one I remember specifically, and we're in this boardroom with these chain-smoking German guys who are the translators, and they asked about, you know, the scene with the jukebox where Chicago, If You Leave Me Now comes on, and he says, who put this on? And he says, it's on random. Because jukeboxes, you know, in British pubs, if nobody puts any money in, they just start. So the German guy asked me, he goes, what does this line mean, it's on random? And I said, oh, you know, in pubs when it just starts if you don't play anything? He goes, in Germany, we do not have random. So fuck knows how that joke played in Germany. Not my problem.
It's true on so many levels. It's amazing. I think we have a roving mic with Tony over here. Do we have any questions, burning questions? Okay, I can see one right here in the... Oh, there's a lady near you. Let's prioritize closeness. It's much speedier. And then we'll come to you next. Okay.
Hiya, I don't mean to make you guys like feel old or anything, but I was a baby when the movie first came out.
Like us.
Fuck
Yes.
you.
So, how I guess you guys didn't realize at the time like how much of the humor in the movie would become Gen Z humor for my generation. But now that you see like the critical response now, do you get like a lot of young people coming up to you and talking about the movie?
Yeah, it's wonderful. You know, it's such a nice thing that I think back to the movies that I loved at your age. I presume you're sort of in your 20s or something. You know, it's films that I think. I'll say I watched, you know, Mel Brooks films or something like that, and to think that people have the same affection for Shaun as I did for Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein or Blazing Saddles, which came out at a similar time to when I was born, is amazing. It's wonderful, and I'm always really flattered and delighted when young people, young'uns, the youth, come up to me and don't stab me. You know.
I did a thing the other day, because it's the 20th anniversary for Rotten Tomatoes, and...
Oh, you've changed.
I
You
said
fucking
both.
Hollywood whore.
There might be some Americans in the audience who didn't understand what I was saying.
That's not what you said when we wrote Shaun of the Dead.
It's an American company, Rotten Tomatoes, sorry.
It's true. I'm kidding.
But it was and I was talking to these super fans, and it was a father and daughter, and the daughter had recreated the walk to the shops in Crouch End. But then when we were doing the interview, I said at some point, I said, wait, how old is your daughter? And he said 11, and I said, Shaun of the Dead is a 15, and you were a terrible parent.
Next, please.
All right. I was curious, what's it like? You started making this
American.
movie to... Yeah, there you go.
See? Were you happy that I said tomatoes?
That's the only way to say it.
Get this guy out of the fucking day, right now!
This guy!
Let's hear it.
Come on, special relationship.
So,
How do you say risotto?
Risotto.
so you,
Get him out. Security, get him out.
I think partially the reason this movie landed is in part the ode to the movies that you were discussing, and also a bit to take the piss out of them. What's it like 20 years later to see how much you've changed these genres because some of the tropes that you mocked just cannot be used anymore?
It's interesting.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't like to sort of... And for certain, I think we were part of a movement at that time that kind of revived, if you pardon the pun, the sort of zombie genre a little bit. We did come out at the same time as 28 Days and Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake. So it's funny when you see a film and it says, oh, the new Shaun of the Dead. We've seen that a few times, haven't we, over the years? I don't know, it's weird. I don't like to assume that we've done that at all, but I guess we have. I was kind of, when they did it in the Zombieland films, the second one, they kind of did the same joke that we did with the Doppelganger gang, and I couldn't work out if they were kind of paying homage or just ripped it off. I think it might have been the latter.
It's a very fine line, I think.
Yeah.
Now you know.
I didn't slag off Bridget Jones too.
We both slagged off comedy sequels today in interviews, so...
We don't care anymore. We're old now. Doesn't matter what we say.
I did find, I mean, one thing is and this is maybe a sad thing, but I was a big zombie movie fan, and we obviously love the George Romero films and other great films like Living Dead and Manchester Morgue and Evil Dead 2 and Brain Dead and all sorts. It did feel like for like a long time, it takes me, like I haven't watched that many zombie films since. It's almost like if you liked chocolate cake and you worked in a sort a chocolate cake factory, and then you would never want to eat chocolate cake ever again. And it sort of cured me of zombie films, but not chocolate cake.
You love chocolate cake. I don't know if anyone's ever seen One Cut of the Dead, which is a Japanese
That's a
zombie
good
movie.
one.
Very good, very good.
One more question over here.
I'm going to record this because my son will say, I'll say I spoke to you both and he'll go, yeah, right, because he's not here. Just quickly
what's your
before I ask the
son's
question, Simon.
What's your son's name?
Jack. I'm
Jack,
recording.
hi Jack.
He's going to cry. He's going to cry.
This is real, not AI.
He's going to cry. And just quickly before I ask the question, my hot tub guy is your hot tub guy, Simon.
Don't tell him I've got a hot tub. I'm trying to be normal.
And he said you live near Martin Freeman, and you said Martin Freeman couldn't change a plug. Is that a lie?
I did not say that about Martin.
He said it was. Sorry. So the question is, you did say
I
it.
just want to
Is
say,
where do you get your hot tub filters?
Sorry. So the question is, when you both started, I remember seeing you, Simon, when you were back in Steve Coogan on his tour.
Yeah.
With the big eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And obviously, you two started with nothing really. You know, I'm an indie filmer, same place, and you're trying to battle. What's it like coming from that to where you are now, where you're on Mission Impossible? You know, you're doing Baby Driver, and you've got, I suppose you're not getting money thrown at you, but you've, well, yeah, Simon, yeah, sorry. Tom Cruise's bestie. But
I don't have a hot tub.
But yeah, what's that like? If you look, I mean, we're the similar vintage. Yeah, right. So what's that like when you look back? Do you feel like it's gone too quick, or you miss
I'd like
it?
to answer this, but regularly of an evening, Simon Pegg and Tom Cruise like to get together and throw money at each other. It's really kinky.
In the hot tub. You know what? It's like, if I can continue the hot tub metaphor, it's like if you were to jump into a really hot tub without, lowering yourself, there'd be an immediate sense of absolute kind of shock and awe. But if you lower yourself in really gradually, you don't sort of notice. And in a way, that's kind of what it's like. This has all happened in a way that it's incremental, in every way. And there are amazing moments. When Edgar and I were writing Hot Fuzz, and J.J. Abrams called the office and said, hey, do you want to come and be in Mission Impossible 3? That was a bit of a, wow, okay, fine. But it all happens in such sort of...
Especially because you'd said in an interview just prior, I'm not going to fuck off to Hollywood. It's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3. And then you were.
I know. I manifested it. I'd actually just not got a role. Joe Carnahan was doing a version, and I'd been up for a casting for it, and not got the role, and so I was kind of a bit bitter. And then JJ took over. Anyway, the rest is history. It's just been a ride. It's been a journey, and I'm still on it, and I'm having a great time,
Can we work the name of your hot tub company into our answer?
Have you got a cold plunge? Have you? Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, next one just over here.
Dylan Moran is so good in this film, and I've never seen him used in that same way. I was wondering, did you guys have a pre-existing relationship with him prior to the film, and how did it come about that he was cast as David?
Well, Naira Park, our amazing producer, who's right there, she, as well as Space, she also did Black Books, the great sitcom. And so I guess you probably knew Dylan from the circuit.
I've known Dylan since 1992, before that young lady over there was born.
I will say about Dylan, we had written that character, and maybe 4 actors auditioned for it, and the other 3 actors, all brilliant people, who all did it exactly as we imagined it, as we had written it. And Dylan was the one who didn't, and he got the job, because it was like, everybody else, and I won't mention any names, because they're all great people, but there's like, but sort of did it exactly as we thought it should be, and then Dylan did it with a different speed and energy, and it was like, let's use Dylan. I mean, he's such a great comic energy. I mean, I actually miss him as he doesn't do so much acting these days. I think he's fantastic. I'd love to work with him again. He's brilliant.
Amazing Cornetto trilogy movies, all fantastic. Our family and friends actually make some money on the back of these. We host We host in independent cinema venues in the Midlands, wine pairing, with, English wine with hot fuzz, cocktails with Shaun of the Dead, and we use like a local brewery to do World's End. We're really keen to know what you're doing next so we can keep making money from your fantastic movie.
That's so cool, man. Thank you so much. That's really cool.
Why don't we reverse engineer it? You tell us the drink and we'll come up with a movie.
Yeah, we're looking for some inspiration. We're always talking, I mean, you know, since we finished, Edgar and I are friends, you know, we're not just colleagues. And we're always talking about, oh, we got to do this, we got to come up with this, or I'll come round. And when we made Shaun of the Dead, all we had to do was make Shaun of the Dead. We didn't have any other things to do. And then obviously our respective careers have become complex. And so the thing that we need to do now is carve out some time, which we will do, and we will do something else, you know, with Nick.
Basically, to write a new film, we need to be in the same room together, and we're both busy, it's not often we're in the same room. We're in the same room now, so what we're suggesting is that if we just all stay here for like 10 weeks, you can watch us write a new screenplay.
And help us. Give us some ideas.
This is a really big whiteboard.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Edgar
right?
came round to mine last year to stay for a week so we could brainstorm ideas, but he bought Peter. Now, Peter is a schnauzer, and he's very naughty. It was quite distracting, but we had a brilliant time, but we didn't come up with any ideas.
Why are you dog shaming?
Peter is lovely. I'm only kidding.
And just to finish up, I know you're both big music fans. What are you excited about this year at Glastonbury? I don't know if you're probably not getting to see everything you want to see, right? 'Cause
Lots
they're
of
all on at the
clashes.
same
Lots
time,
of
yeah.
clashes.
Yeah.
It's lots of bands that have the same audience on at the same time. Who could pick between Yard Act and English Teacher?
Who?
Not me. I'm going
Who
to go and see
indeed?
The Breeders.
Or Jungle and Idols, which was a clash last night.
Or Idols and Fontaines DC at the same
but
time.
yeah.
Anyway,
I saw Idols last night, and I saw literally one of the greatest performances I've ever seen at Glastonbury ever. It was absolutely amazing. Just stunning. They're such an incredible band, such energy, and it's so weird because they're so full of rage, but it's rage paired with love. And I've never seen that before. You know, usually sort of that kind of punk ethic is fired by resentment and hate, but they are all about love and unity. It's quite extraordinary.
And is it true you randomly bumped into each other as well?
Yeah, he just walked past me yesterday. I was like, hey, Edgar.
To continue the Idols, we bumped into each other at PJ Harvey, also West Country.
Yes.
So we're continuing the West Country theme. So I thought I wasn't going to see you until 15 minutes before this, and then literally in a field full of hundreds of thousands of people, we ran into each other at PJ Harvey. It was fantastic, by the way. Did anybody see PJ Harvey? Amazing.
Awesome. Well, listen, I think that is all the time we have, but you have essentially confirmed today a fourth Cornetto and Space Season 3. So that's what we all heard, right? I feel like that's what we all heard. So we look forward to those. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon
Thank
Pegg,
you.
Edgar
Enjoy the
Wright,
movie.
and
Enjoy
Shaun
the
of
movie.
Dead.